A Trip to Greece, Solangelo AU, by Prettiestpivvo, Chapter 7. Nika's point of view. I got one of the best sleeps ever last night. For one thing, Will was outside reading when I got into bed, so that was a problem for future, half-conscious 3 a.m. Nico. And second, yesterday absolutely drained me. We did so much walking, and it had been so hot, I was worried I would end the trip looking as tan as Will, or as red as a lobster, but who can tell? It also happened that today, Thursday, we had a free day to do whatever we wanted, which included sleeping in, and later doing some shopping. My dad, Hades, and my stepmom, Persephone, had requested a souvenir, and I needed a new pair of sneakers. When I woke up this morning, I thankfully didn't have the sun glaring into my eyeballs. We had remembered to close the curtains before bed, unlike the night before. I blinked a few times as I came to. I hadn't moved much in the night, and neither had Will, thank God. I pulled my arm out from under the covers and unplugged my phone from its charger. I switched it on, and the white light was not at all pleasant. 8:56 a.m. I put it back onto the plug and flopped back onto the soft mattress. I could see beams of light trying to sneak through the edges of the curtains, and if I listened hard, I could hear the bustling around of Greek goers through the street. I closed my eyes and just listened for a while. I was so deeply calm and peaceful, I almost fell back to sleep. I almost had forgotten entirely about the blonde boy sleeping next to me. Well, that was until he started to shift in the bed. My eyes flew back open. Will groaned quietly. The side of my mouth twitched slightly as I watched him gain consciousness. He opened his eyes and rubbed the palms of his hands into them to clear away the sleep vision. He sat up slightly and looked around the room. As his eyes registered me, I gave him a little wave from where I lay, my head on the pillow. He smiled and gave a wave back. Morning, he said in a raspy voice. I had yet to hear the morning voice of Will Solus, since he hadn't talked much until we had left the hotel room yesterday. I had heard Percy and Jason's since we shared a dorm. It was kind of hot. Then again, so was most of what he did. Good morning, I smiled back. This guy was really growing on me. What time is it? Will asked, looking over to the two boys sleeping to our right, and then the window, light seeping into the room. About 9 a.m. How'd you sleep? Great, nothing like a whole day of activities and a good book before bed to send you into a coma, he announced. I laughed. I'm convinced by the end of this trip I'll have had enough sleep to last a lifetime. He chuckled softly, laying back onto his pillow, clearly conscious of the fact Percy and Jason were still asleep. Got any plans for the day? Will spoke after a bit of comfortable silence. I have to get souvenirs from parents, and then I might get some new shoes and shorts of some kind. I respond. How about you? Might look around for a new hat of some kind, and maybe a painting. I'm a sucker for some good art. We fell silent again, but it wasn't at all strange. I was thinking that this was the way I would want to spend every morning, sharing a bit with Will, saying some good mornings, then laying in peaceful silence. Wow, I was really getting into this. I think it's finally official, and I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or not. I disturbed the silence with the rustling of the bed sheets while I reached for my phone. I picked it up, sent a message to Piper, put it back down, and fell back into the bed. I heard a quiet ping from my phone, telling me it had sent. My heart danced. I then heard a series of pings. I picked my phone back up. Pipes. I have a crush on Will. Shit. Ha! I knew it. You stubborn bastard. Oh my god, this is so exciting. You'd be so cute together. Of course, Piper had known before I did. It was like she had some kind of sixth sense. I was 90% sure that now all the girls knew, and as soon as the boys awoke, they would be aware too. I just really didn't know how this would play out. I wasn't sure whether or not Will actually liked guys or not. That would be embarrassing. Pipes. Do not take my word for this, but I was in the same homeroom as Will one year, and I overheard him and some of his friends talking about hot celebs, and he mentioned a few guys. Not sure if that could mean anything. I wasn't quite sure how to feel about that. The rest of me clearly did, because a small hope flared through my body, my heart pounding far too fast to be natural or healthy. I didn't want to give my hopes up, but maybe Will liked guys. I crossed all my fingers and toes. I'll figure it out in time, I thought. I still barely knew the guy. Before I knew it, Percy started to wake up, and he tended to stretch a lot when he woke up. He definitely hit Jason with an arm or a leg or something, because Jason groaned and began to wake seconds later. Morning, hotties, Percy mumbled. I rolled my eyes. Will let out a laugh. I'm starving, Jason announced, head still on the pillow. Then let's go get some food, Will said. Then we'll go into the city and do some shopping. We managed to coax Percy and Jason out of their bed, and we went down to breakfast. We texted the girls, but they said they had gotten up earlier and had already left. They were clearly making the most of their shopping time. The rest of the day passed in a blur. The four of us spent the morning together, walking into small shops, browsing, mostly buying nothing, then leaving. When lunch rolled around, we met up with the girls. As I had predicted, they all smirked at me, sent a small glance to Will, and looked back to me. I flipped Piper off when no one was looking. We went into pairs for a while after lunch. Percy with Annabeth, Jason with Piper, Thalia with Will, and Raina with me. Though Raina lightly mentioned the blonde boy I was falling for, she didn't base a conversation on it, for which I was grateful. We took our time shopping, escaping the heat regularly in shops with air conditioning. Raina bought a few pieces of clothing from shops. I had purchased my souvenirs as well as some shoes, shorts, and a new pair of swim shorts. We all had dinner together at a restaurant at around 7 p.m. that night, and afterwards walked back to the hotel. It had been a quiet, relaxing day. It had been nice to just chill for a day. I feel like I hadn't had that luxury much. Us four boys got back to our room, and I announced I needed a swim in the pool. I'll come. I feel like I'm about to melt, Will said, ruffling through his bag to find a pair of bathers before walking into the bathroom to change. I looked back towards the two other boys. Either of you coming? I both wanted and didn't want them to say yes. I'm alright. I'm gonna go meet up with Piper. She wants to tell me some hot goss, apparently. I knew who was involved. Now it's Percy. Nah, Annabeth wanted to show me some books she got about Greek architecture. I'm also going to try convince her to play Roblox with me, he remarked. Suit yourself. I was actually very proud of my acting skills because my whole body was filled with so much delight and nervousness I thought I would explode. I changed once Will came out of the bathroom, but I also had to splash some water on my face to cool down because, damn, it was gorgeous. The two of us left the room and made our way to the pool. Once we got there, we had to tap our room card to enter. As the door slid open, I got a puff of warm air, and the smell of chlorine filled my nostrils. The pool was empty. We found two lounges by the water to put our towels and Crocs we had worn. I was still putting my stuff down when Will bombed into the water behind me, sprinkling me with water. I turned and grinned at the blonde. His whole body was underwater besides his face. He had a boyish grin plastered on it. I smirked back and jumped in right on top of him.